Ron is here to talk about accessibility issues. It's something that probably many folks may not think about unless it affects them directly. Ron is the grants manager for a group called Accessibility Wisconsin. We're delighted to have him here today talking about accessibility perspectives for angling.
As Sarah mentioned, I'm Ron. My name is Ron French. I'm a grant manager. I'm also a board member of Accessibility Wisconsin here in the state. And first of all, I want to thank the Symposium for letting AAW share with you how we make the outdoors accessible for those living with mobility issues, and how we can help you and your organization make your programs accessible. Our mission is to provide means to access the outdoors and for recreational opportunities with people both with temporary and permanent mobility challenges. That includes people that have temporary mobility to get out of surgery, or they're coming home or want to go outdoors and enjoy the outdoors, but yet they can't because of some surgery had prevent them from doing that. Also, we help people that have permanent injuries as well, and also working with other communities to help them get out into their areas to make sure they can enjoy the outdoors or have the access and the means to do it. What I'd like to start off with is a presentation of a short video clip with our president, Monica Spiini, talking about the program and how it got started. So I'm going to try this right here.
My favorite sounds are just listening to birds chirp with their many songs. Everyone thinks, oh, it's so quiet in nature. If you listen, it's an orchestra all in of itself. People think that having a spinal cord injury is all about the wheelchair and not walking, but there are so many other difficulties that one has to deal with and overcome. I have to learn how to redress myself. I have to learn how to cook again.
There you go.
11 years after my injury, I had an experience that I was never expecting.
I actually met Monica at a disabled pheasant hunt, and I wanted to find somebody to use the chairs. I saw Monica.
And he goes, hey, would you like to try this outdoor wheelchair?
I was like, well, she probably can't be too hard on the chair. I'll let Monica try it out.
It was like I was able to walk again. Just that relief of finally being able to be outdoors and go where I want to go. It was just this big black cloud floating away, and I could see sunshine. So it was amazing. I just felt it's too valuable a resource to have it just for me. We should try to get one that we can share as a community resource. So I started Accessibility Wisconsin. Accessibility Wisconsin has outdoor wheelchairs for people to use for free. Everyone should have the right to public lands and access to the outdoors.
This chair that I'm currently in, as soon as you hit the grass, it sinks in, can't do anything with it.
Wheelchairs are like our shoes, and outdoor wheelchairs are like our hiking boots. These outdoor wheelchairs increase social interaction and decrease depression.
She's inspiring in a way, that really makes you want to get out there and be a better person. I think I do more now than I ever did before I was in a chair.
The purpose of my life is to help people. A lot of people have helped me. I feel that I should give back, and then they'll help others. It's the ripple effect. If you want to hear more stories like mine, subscribe to AARP's YouTube channel.
That was Monica, and a little overview of the program and how she got it started. So to dive deeper into the program. So who are we at Accessibility? Well, essentially, we have a president, that's Monica. We have 8 board members representing a diverse fields, medical fields, ecological, accounting, financial. So we're a wide variety of people, our board members are. We have 4 part-time staff that help us with reservations, event activities, and other things that are associated with the organization. We're also comprised of volunteers, and volunteers are very critical to us because essentially they are the backbone of the organization. They help us provide all the support for events. They help us reach out and to the community, help people who reserve their chairs, hook the trailer up to their car so they can take it to the place where they want to go to use the outdoor wheelchair. So our volunteers are very valuable to our organization. So where does our funding come from? Well, our funding comes from a variety of sources. Primarily, most of our funding comes through donations and grants. And the donations, we get corporate funding for the organization. We also get a lot of money from individual who contribute to the organization as well. A bulk of a lot of our funding, though, comes from the grants that we get from Wisconsin DNR through their AR3, HR3 programs, other environmental organizations, conservation organizations, and even state parks and county parks like the Foundation of Dane County Parks provides grants for us, and as well as other organizations that deal with spinal cord injuries like the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. We also get some funding from fundraising, but it's minor compared to the other sources of funding to AAW. So what do we have in terms of our adaptive equipment that can be reserved? First and foremost, we have outdoor wheelchairs. We have 27 of them now scattered throughout the state of Wisconsin. They each come with a trailer, which you can see up here in the upper right-hand corner. This is a trailer that's a single-use trailer that tows an individual wheelchair. So those can be reserved. When you reserve those and come pick it up, we'll help you or our host will help you attach the trailer to your chair. Attach the trailer to your truck. We also have an event trailer, which is down here in the lower right, which holds up to 3 to 4 chairs, which we tow and bring to certain events, or you can use at events that you might would need have a number of wheelchairs besides just one at your event. Each of these chairs and the trailer combination cost around $26,000. So it's quite a bit of an investment just for one chair and one trailer. And yet, but a person can still reserve these for free with a small refundable deposit, which is $50. This just gives you an overview of the inside of the trailer with the chair in it. Inside, we keep our spare tires, other equipment, things like that to support the chair and the trailer. Over here, you'll see the chair as itself. It's very simple to operate. People ages from 4 to 100 have been in our wheelchairs and use them a lot. You have a single control right here to move in different directions. We have a light here, over here. We have different accessories that could go on the chair. If you have a fishing rod or a rifle or a backpack or anything like that you would like to hang onto the chair, we have those features for those different types of chairs. We also have little bags on the side and cup holders on the other side, and safety straps to keep you in the chair when you're using it. So how do we work? So as I mentioned, we provide for free with a small refundable deposit outdoor wheelchair that you reserve through our website. You can go on our website and make a reservation for a chair that you would like to use for yourself or for an individual or a friend that you might know. You can take that chair to a destination that you want to go to within the state. In fact, you can take it out of state. We've had people take the chairs out to Wyoming and Montana for elk hunting. We've had families take them down to Florida on their vacations, go down to the beach. So they can be reserved for different types of activities in different locations. Most people reserve them here in the state and use them on their family vacations and things like that, or use them for other outdoor activities like fishing and hunting, bird watching, etc. We also have, like I mentioned, event trailers where we have a fleet of these chairs that can go to certain events. So if you're having a large event and you want to make it more accessible to a lot of different people, we can you can reserve 3 or 4 chairs, how many you might need for that event. And so we would help and work with you on that. We also would help you collaborate with you before you even plan for that event, to make sure that you're having the right amount of equipment that you need for that event. We always believe that before you start programming, putting together your event, that there should be forethought going into making those events accessible to people and not make it an afterthought. Another key feature of how we work is through our host. And right now we have about 16 to 17 hosts that are scattered throughout Wisconsin. Each of these hosts have gone through our training process where they can have an outdoor wheelchair and trailer. And so when you make a reservation, you go on a reservation site, you'll look at a location. At that location, we'll typically have a host there that manages our equipment for us. So you'll make a reservation through that host, that location. It could be a nature center or sportsman's club, or a private business, and you can reserve the chair and trailer through them. They would help you with the reservation. They would make sure you have everything that you need to hook the trailer up to your hitch on your car or truck, making sure it's safe and everything, and go over with you about the process of the chair and things like that in case you have any questions. Again, these are our host locations that we have scattered throughout Wisconsin. We just recently got one down in Illinois, which is good. And so we're kind of expanding a lot of the state. We've been growing a lot in the last 4 years. So it's just amazing the growth that we have and the number of hosts that out there. As you can see in the Driftless area out there, we're kind of lacking. So we're kind of looking for a host in this area that would be or host or two in this area that would be a host to our adaptive equipment. You notice the gentleman on the left here, this is on the Madison Birdwalk outside in Dane County. So a lot of organizations do use our equipment as well for their walks. Again, AA stresses it's really an opportunity for all. We want to make sure that everyone has equal access to the outdoors. In this picture, you can see a mom fishing out there, but she's brought her son with her on the fishing trip to come. So you see the chair can go right up to the edge of the stream, and that child could be fishing just as well. So we want to make sure that family and family members are there with their loved ones, so they can go outdoors and enjoy the outdoors just like their partners are. Photograph in the bottom left is a group of veterans that were doing an ice fishing event. So we provided outdoor wheelchairs for their events. Again, just to make it accessible for all. You can get the wheelchair right down to the stream. If you want to go fishing, our chairs can go on ice. A lot of people use them in the wintertime for ice fishing. And then also we have a stand-up chair, like Ashley here is showing stand-up. She's fly fishing on the stream, and that it's a stand-up chair, making it easy for her to cast. So there's different types of mechanisms to get you down and out into the environment to go fishing or do whatever you want to do in the outdoors. We really stress the importance of including everyone in our program. So even when you're making your programming events, we want to make sure that you make your events accessible, and we can help you do that. Make sure your programs are open to everyone. Make that they're accessible, regardless of people's ability, what they have. We look for leaders to help us with the programming and lead those events, and also making sure we can help you or work with you to identify potential participants to come to your event if you need that. Again, at the forefront, we want you to make sure when you program your events, it's at the forefront instead of the afterthought. We work with community leaders like Madison Audubon, Dane County Pheasants, a lot of different nature centers we work with to make sure that their program's accessible to outdoors. And so we keep them involved in our programs. They always reach out and contact us, or they make reservations for a single chair, or it could be multiple chairs for the events that they have. But the key thing is that we work with them, partner with them to make sure their events are accessible. We also make sure, everything we check when we go out, or if there is an accessible event, that, you know, are the area, are there accessible restrooms? Are they ADA compliant? And just keep in mind, ADA compliant is the bare minimum. We like to go above and beyond, making sure the resources are accessible for everyone. We're also involved in education, working with different groups and organizations to make sure that that children can come to the events, learn about, you know, when these events are geared toward the youth, making sure that they have, making sure that they're accessible for children and young people that might need an outdoor wheelchair to be part of the program. We want to make sure that they're included and they fit in and they just fit in with everyone else, and they are able to partake in all the activities as everyone else is. So we work with a lot of, like I said, a lot of conservation groups to make this part of their program. Again, if you're having having a fishing clinic or something like that, make sure you can make it accessible. You know, in this clinic here, put on by Orbis, you can see that, you know, the streams are accessible. Someone can, in an outdoor wheelchair, can access that stream and be right there learning how to cast with all the other folks. We also, you know, provide our people there as volunteers to help out with an event. And so we usually have a booth or a station right there with our flyers and brochures and things like that to let people know about our organizations and what we can do to help them. One thing, I'm a stream ecologist, and one thing I do a lot of stream restoration work. And one thing I like for folks to keep in mind is that, you know, consider when you're planning a program to do some stream restoration, and you know some individuals who can't quite get down to the stream or might be a little bit older or has some physical limitations but would like to be involved, make sure you can include them in the event. You know, you can reserve our chair for that event if you need or know someone who would like to be a part of it. I mean, as you see in the pictures up here in the upper left-hand corner, these chairs can go over logs and roll over things. They can go up to 6 inches deep in water. And we also can tow things with the chairs. You can move things around, tow them a little bit, move a log or something like that. But, you know, it helps make that person part of the process and out there and be able to enjoy the outdoors. It's just amazing when you see people out there helping and doing things who thought they couldn't do this. It's just the smiles on their face is just amazing. Again, a lot of the results, like I mentioned, a lot of smiles, and it's just people really enjoy being outdoors. It just opens them up. It gives you so much. It gives them so much personal freedom. You know, they're not indoors all the time. They can escape. They can be out by themselves. They can be out with their family and friends, and they can be out and doing things that they enjoy. And again, it just increases, you know, more involvement and increases the access and participation of being in a community. So how do we measure our success? Well, what we do is require is when someone reserves a wheelchair individually or for an event, that they have to fill out a survey. Surveys are very important for us because they help us measure how successful we are, but also as part of the granting process, we have to complete survey. We have to report results back to the grantor on how well our program did. And as Monica mentioned early on in the video, that it's, you know, it's a $50 deposit for a chair and it's refundable, but it's refundable if we complete a survey. If you don't complete a survey, typically you won't get your deposit back, but you know, a lot of that's based upon your income level. But we require a survey to be completed at the end of the reservation and using of the outdoor equipment. So a little bit about how we've come so far in the last 5 years or last 7 years. You know, we started off with one wheelchair back in 2014. And we now just got 2 more, so we're now up to 27 wheelchairs in that time period. Our reservations went from 8 to 365 at the end of last year. We started with 2 events, and that last year we did 35 major events. And particularly the things it's good for us is and for the people involved is the days reserved went from 25 days reserved to 1,514 days. So it's a big increase in the amount of time our chairs are being reserved. And we continue to grow. Even this year we forecast that it's going to be a lot more, particularly after post-COVID. And again, our volunteers who are very important to the organization, we've gone from 300 to 4,500 hours. And that's amazing. And we're always looking for new volunteers to help out. And on our webpage, you can go on and find a link if you're interested in becoming a volunteer. And we're also very active on social media. This is our webpage here to the left. We have different links up here. If you want to reserve a chair, you can click on the link up there to reserve it. Also, you can do the surveys online up here and you'll find out. And then if you're interested in being a host, we have links up here on the hosting process, how you become a host, what it entails, and how to get that process started. And also over here, you can see the locations where our chairs are located throughout the state by different types of hosts. We also have up there, if you're interested in donating to the organizations, a link up there to donate. And again, like I said, if you're interested in being a volunteer, we have a get involved link up there. We're also active on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So that's who we are. And like I said, we really want to make the outdoors more accessible for everyone. And we want you to consider, if you know family or friends who would like to enjoy the outdoors or can't get out there because of a temporary permanent, disability, think about us and think about making a reservation for yourself or that person. And if you're programming events like a clinic or a stream restoration type event, make sure you make it accessible and we can help you with that process. But keep that planning up front and the forethought as you do that. And I'll take any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ron. I put your contact information in the Q&A. I had a question, a request for that. I also had a question come in looking at if you keep a record of requests to help kind of identify where there's interest and need.
And
So it looks like you track those reservations.
Yeah, we do track our reservations where they come from, but we also, we identify potential. We're always reaching out to find new hosts for certain areas, like in a Driftless area. We'd love to have a couple of hosts in there in La Crosse area, or somewhere's in Boscobel up in that area. We do have a host up at Eau Claire, but increasing our presence there and also presence in up in northern Wisconsin. I mean, our ultimate goal is to get a chair in every county if we can. So that's 72 counties. So it adds up over time, but we're getting there. We're up to 27 chairs and we're moving into what, 13 or 15 different counties now. So we're moving forward.
That's amazing. Do you have any top recommendations for resource managers regarding accessibility? I think you had a few points in your in the stream restoration section.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing a stream restoration and it's made up of a variety of different people who volunteer for that, make sure you reach out to those individuals that typically aren't typically invited to those type events. Are there youth or that might have a disability, or even an older person? They don't necessarily have to be hands-on doing type things, but they can do other things. Help transport water, food, take notes, take photographs, do all kinds of things that might not be possible because the stream is too deep, or the access may be a little too difficult, muddy and things like that, where the chair could get stuck in or something like that. So, but the chair does go through mud. It's amazing what it can go through. But yeah, if you're planning those type of activities, keep folks in mind. Even if it's some family member you want to bring along on the event that can't really move around a lot, can consider that person as well. And if you have work colleagues, that you're working with who have limited mobility issues, you can involve them in the event as well.
Excellent. I actually had a question about how far do they travel, and are they rechargeable, or do you bring spare?
Yep, they're rechargeable. We have 2 batteries on them, and they go. If you're on a level surface and moving around, you could pretty much go 6 to 8 hours with that chair. If you're going uphill a lot and moving things around or something like that, towing a wagon with heavy equipment in it, things like that, it might use up more if it's in the cold winter time. Of course, you have less battery capability, but overall, you can get a good 4 to 6 hours out of them doing a wide variety of conditions. And yes, they're rechargeable. So when you pick it up, the chair is charged up, and then when it's returned, we hook it back up to the charger. You can also, if you're going to be gone for a weekend or something like that, we have all the cords and electrical connections in there to make sure you keep the chair charged up.
Excellent. Let me just check if there's any other questions. I don't want to miss folks. Let's see. So I have a question from a landowner who has sold an easement along the stream, and the agreement is preventing him from mowing a path within the easement. Has that been a limitation that you've run into?
I haven't encountered it, but you can take these things off path. I mean, you saw in the video of Monica and a couple other people, they were just going right through the tall grass to the stream area. So yeah, you can take them right off the trails into the stream. Just be careful, you watch for deep gullies and things like that, so you don't get stuck in a deep gully or something like that. You just have to be careful. But yeah, it can go right through grass. So tall grass.
Great. Well, thanks again, Ron. Really appreciate you presenting and the work that accessibility is doing.
Yeah, thank you.
amazing.
And thank you
Thank
for
you.
letting us share our capabilities. And please think about us when you want to make your events accessible.